In the last class, we were discussing about digital communication system, and we have seen the first step. What we have done is we are converting any analog signal into a digital signal. And how we are doing? We are doing with the help of PAM. Remember what how we have done? We have done with the help of PAM and PWM. So what we have done? The input was analog signal. We have just passed this analog signal to the train of pulses which says on and off. When the on was there, the information was being transferred. When it was off, it stopped. So that, and if we are talking with respect to amplitude, we call it as pulse amplitude modulation. If we are talking with respect to width, we are calling it as pulse width modulation or pulse duration modulation. Now, these two, and pulse position also we have seen. So, all these three techniques we have used to convert any analog signal into digital signal. After that, we have done coding. We have, after coding, then we, through the modulator, we have sent the our digitalized data through the channel. Now, after channel, we know that any form of channel you use, some noise always gets added. Then we have demodulated, removed that noise, decoded our information, and depending upon what user wants, we have converted into analog signal or digital signal. Now, in this process, first thing what we have seen, how PAM, PPM, and PWM is used to convert analog signal into digital signal. Now, in the channel, we have seen the noise had got added. This noise, what is done? It affects the amplitude of your signal, and information is disturbed information. So for that, what we have seen the difference between analog and digital signals, that how noise affects the amplitude. Now here, if the signal is digitalized, it's become easy for us to remove the noise when we are demodulating. Now here, signal to noise ratio plays a very important role when we are removing the noise. If the signal and noise ratio is high, the noise mostly affects into the amplitude, and it becomes easy for us to filter the information from the noise. But if it is low, then it gets merged with the signal. Then we have seen that when what is a requirement of doing all this process, how to reduce the noise, how to convert analog signal into pulses. We have done sampling. Now what we have done in sampling, what we have done, the step one was, we have with successive time, we have marked our signal into separate samples. Now the sampling is done with the help of Nyquist criteria, which always says the sampling rate should be higher than the bandwidth that is being used by the signal. That is what we say, that fh should be greater than or equal to twice of b, where b says the bandwidth, fs is the sampling rate, means at the rate at which we are doing the sampling. So if you here say see the wave, you will say the wave is having one time period, but if you see the samples, there are many samples in that one wave, right? So sampling rate is higher than the bandwidth. Now, after doing the sampling, what we have done, you can see that this wave, the sample, is according to the amplitude of your wave, it is having various amplitudes of samples. So here we are doing a quantization. Quantization means each point where you have the point was been there. See, you can see here the first point is having one particular voltage. The second point have another voltage. Third point is having another voltage. So all the voltages that we have received with the sampling how we have got, because we have done successive time slots onto the input wave. Now that is getting converted into voltage. This is known as quantization. So sampling is done vertically, quantization is done horizontally. Sampling is done with respect to time, quantization is done with respect to voltage or amplitude. Now, after we have done this, next what we have to do is to convert it into bits. So now how what we have done, say for example, here when sampling was done, this particular point was giving me say 1 voltage. Okay. Now this 1 volt is being converted into bits saying 001. Now here, say coincidentally, I got this sampling was giving me 3 volts. Now this 3 volts here is been converted as 011. So like this, the point of quantization means this quantization level is getting converted into code. This is PCM. Okay, so with pulse code modulation, what we have done, we have converted our signal into code. Now, when you are doing the quantization level, we need to have the idea about how many levels are required. How you will come to know? It you will come to know depending upon how much error you are getting. Say, if you see here, this green line indicates the signal, red line indicates the quantization level. You can see the gap between green and red is wider. That means if you see the quantization error will be higher. If you the same signal that is 0 to 5 is been subdivided from 0 to 2.5 and then 5, you will find the quantization level has been increased. Earlier it was only 1. Now we have got 1, 2, 3, 4. We have got 4 to 5 levels. So because it is 2 bits are been, it is converted into 2 bits, we are calling it as 2 bit. Now same 0 to 5 voltage, if we convert into more precise, more number of bits, 3 bit is been used, then same 0, which was only a single 0 earlier, has become triple 0. Same 2.5 that was here 10 has become 101. So you can see the precise, it has become more precise. So when you're reconstructing, naturally the output that we get is quite close to what we have given in the input. So what happens when quantization level increases, the quality of the reconstruction of our data also improves. Now, that is what we have seen, that the advantage of increasing the quantization level is that the output that we got is, or the reconstruction of a signal is better if the number quantization level is higher as compared to the lower one. Now here, what we have, we call such kind of quantization as uniform quantization, where the step size is fixed. You can see the step size says, step size means 0 to 001, 1 to 10. You know this is 0, this is 1, this is 2. 011 is 3. If you see the step size, it is fixed. 0 to 1, say it was 1 volt, then 1 to 2, again 1 volt, 2 to 3, again 1 volt. So what happens? Signal to noise ratio also varies as the input signal input is varying. Now that is how we call it as uniform quantization. But the disadvantage here is, if you go with some previous graph, say such kind of graph, you will see here the difference between this blue line and green line is very wide, which cannot be controlled if you take a fixed step size. For that, what we need is, we need non-uniform, or we want some step that keeps changing itself with the input signal. So we call such kind of signal as non-uniform quantization. And with that, what advantage do we have? We can reduce the noise. Now here, if you look at the graph, you can see 0 to 1, there was one particular voltage, but as you move on, you will find that with respect to time, the variation has happened. And because of that, the step size is not fixed. Here also you can see the graph between green and ochre yellow color, that how the signal is getting converted into digital signal. So naturally the advantage that we get is, now signal to noise ratio becomes, it is constant, it is maintained. So naturally the losses will be reduced. So this is known as, this is a solution to reduce the noise, or this is a solution to reduce the quantization error that was happening because of fixed step size. Now here, we have seen few things. What all things we have seen till now? We have seen that in this, we have a digital source. We have seen PAM, PWM, and PPM was used. to convert analog signal into digital signal. Then we have seen that coding and everything we have done with the help of PCM, that is pulse code modulation. Now, what happens at the modulator? At the modulator, we are going to send signal. Transmitter is meant to send signal to the channel. Now, as we said, channel can be anything. But right now, we will talk about what happens at the modulator. Now, at modulator, what is happening is we are going to send these signals onto the channel. Now, this channel can be any channel. Now, the signal that we are using is baseband digital signal. What is the difference between passband and baseband? You need to know this. Baseband are the signal which need modulation. Passband, where the directly information can just pass on. So we call it as passband, whereas baseband needs modulation. So all the signals, all the modulation techniques uses only baseband signals. It can be analog, it can be digital. Now here, when now you want to send the signal that we have received. Remember, the analog signal is converted into digital with the help of either of the techniques, PAM, PWM, or PPM. Now the signal is already digitalized. It's already in the pulse code modulation. How we have improved, how we have found out how to convert it into pulse code modulation with the help of quantization. So sampling and quantization has helped us to convert our signals to give a particular voltage to the pulses that we have received. Now we know that this particular voltage, and we have converted them into a pulse. Now we know zero is zero. If the 0 volt is there, it will be indicated as 000. If it is 1, it will be indicated as 001. So this 1 volt has been converted into a code. Now, after that, what we are doing, this digital signal, what we are talking about, is the same digitalized signal, which this is a PCM signal, which is already converted into ones and zeros. Now, here there are three techniques that can be used for the modulation purpose. One is ASK. ASK, again, if you see here, when your input signal, remember our input signal is a digital signal now. It has already been digitalized. Okay. Now this digital signal, when it passes through analog carrier, remember here the communication is still going through analog carrier because we have to send it to a channel. Now, when the signal says 1, when our information signal says 1, the carrier, same frequency is just passed on. When it's the information signal says 0, then our carrier signal is not having any amplitude when it reaches to the output. So here, if you see, the amplitudes are different. When it was 1, amplitude was full. When it was 0, amplitude was minimum. So since there is a variation in the amplitude, we call it as amplitude shift keying. Then, if you talk about frequency shift keying, here the 1 indicates the full frequency that is being used by the carrier, whereas 0 indicates another frequency which can be higher or lower than the carrier frequency. Preferably, it's always lower. So that means 1 and 0 indicates two different frequencies. So when it is just like now, if you can compare this with your frequency modulation, it looks similar to that. Only the difference between frequency modulation and FSK is that it is controlled by 1 and 0. In analog, it was being controlled by amplitude of your input signal. Here in digital modulation, it is being controlled by ones and zeros of the input signal. Okay. Then we have PSK, which says phase shift key. Now here, when the input says 1, you are getting the carrier as it is. But when it says 0, there is a phase shift here at the point when it shifts from 1 to 0. So every time when it shifts from 1 to 0, a phase shift is happening. And every time when it shifts from 0 to 1, a phase shift is happening. Now, it is not necessary that phase shift should be always 180 degree. It can be anything. So it can be 45 degree, it can be 60 degree, it can be 90 degree, it can be 180 degree. Any shift can be done. So with the help of this phase shift king, what we are doing, we are separating one and zeros. Fine. So this is the way how the signal is transmitted towards the channel. Now here the same information is been shown about FSK, ASK, PSK. Now here we have amplitude and phase shift together. Now if you see the signal, when it says the information is being passed on, it is entirely is been passed. Now here we are having phase shift also, we are having amplitude shift also. That all depends on the digital data that we have received. Now what in the modulation, in digital modulation, advantage is there, you can merge any two together. Frequency and amplitude can mix together, phase and amplitude can mix together, even two different phase can mix together. Maybe one signal says 45-degree phase shift, one says 90-degree phase shift. That is also possible. So various techniques can be created by merging two different types of shift techniques. Now here in FSK, here how the signal is being formed, that is what they are showing, that how you can do it. We have seen in FSK what happened. In FSK, you found that when one was being passed, the carrier frequency was taking up as full frequency. When zero was being passed, another frequency was passing through it. How did it happen? It happened that we are sending two waves, or I should say two different carrier waves we are sending. So when the information signal says one, the first carrier was being picked up, and zero, nothing was being picked up. Now when zero was there in the information signal, second carrier was being picked up. That means just reverse of it is happening. You can say a not gate has been placed there. So when your information signal says one there, first one is selected, second one is not selected, and vice versa happens. So at the end, when the conclusion happens, you will find when one is there, your main carrier, first carrier frequency is passed. When zero is there, the second carrier frequency is passed. That is how FSK waves are being created. Fine. Now here they are also showing that various frequencies also can be sent with the help of one, and when information signal is there. Now how it will happen? It will happen just by the combination of 0 0. Earlier whatever we have seen is only 0 and 1, one at a time. Now if you increase, if number of bits are being increased, naturally the combination also changes. 0 will be represented as 0 0, 2 bits. 0 can also be represented as 0 0 0, 3 bits. So as many bits are there, if you, depending upon what kind of signal you are sending, you can merge various signals together and they can be sent. Now here the example is four different type of frequencies are sent at a time. So it is 4 FSK signal. This is just for understanding. That is 0 0 is having one frequency, 0 1 is having another frequency, 1 0 is having third frequency, and 1 1 is having fourth frequency. Like this, multiple frequencies can be passed. That is the advantage of digital modulation. Why we prefer digital? Because we can send multiple information, multiple signals at a time in the same bandwidth. Okay, this is clear. Now we will talk about transmission media. Now this transmission media is same as channel. We have seen in the block diagram, initially we have converted analog into digital. Then this digital signal was been converted into pulse code modulation. That means these voltages were converted into code. After that, we use different digital techniques to send it to the channel. What all the techniques we have seen? PSK, FSK, ASK, and we have also used a combination of two shift keyings. We can call it as QAM, that is quadrature amplitude modulation. Also, we can merge many more combinations and create a new, because our main aim is to send many signals at a time. Okay. Now, next we go to transmission medium, that is a channel. Now, this can be of various types, guided media or unguided media. Guided means like coaxial, fiber optics or some wires, right? Then unguided is directly onto the space. That is, we are sending through radio waves, microwaves, infrared to directly to the satellite. Then if you use the guided media, then we can use baseband, we can use broadband. Remember what we have said for baseband and broadband, that we need a uh, modulation whenever we talk about the broadband. Then we can even use shield. This unshielded and shielded are for the smaller frequencies, and baseband and broadband are for the higher frequency. Different channels can be used. It can be guided or it can be unguided, both through the space or through the wires. Okay. So here there are few things when we talk about the transmission media or we are talking about the channel. The advantages that we get is that lower signal to line noise ratio is been under control, and time division multiplexing, also known as TDM, is been taken care of. What is TDM? This is TDM, where with respect to time, we have sent various signal at a time. So four signals are being sent in the same bandwidth. This is known as time division multiplexing, TDM, where with respect to time, if you see, various signals are being sent. This is known as time division multiplexing. The only disadvantage that we have, since we are using time division multiplexing and multiple frequencies are sent together, the bandwidth has become very big. So it is very much necessary that synchronization between all frequencies we are sending should be there. So naturally, the multiplexing will be a difficult thing. We need extra equipment for that. And also we know that since we are converting analog signal into digital signals, and later again we are converting digital into analog at the receiver, that analog facilities need to be taken care that they are compatible with each other. Otherwise, they themselves will add noise onto the signals. Now, mostly what we used here is radio frequencies. So this entire range is for radio frequencies, which are used for various applications. So depending upon what kind of application we are using, we will be picking that type of radio frequency. Now, radio frequency is basically of two types. It can be analog, where it is directly sent through unguided media, and other one is called as digital radio frequency, which is we are digitalizing it. The name itself says radio frequency is same, only we are digitalizing it. Since is how we will digitalize it, by giving codes to it. Now if you see here, if you are going through simple frequency transmission, what you are doing, you are using 2, 3, 4, 5 frequencies, and respectively you are sending, you are multiplexing it and sending into the space. But if you are doing a digital radio frequency, you are giving each frequency a, a code. A code is being given, like one frequency is called as 00, another frequency, another new frequency is having 1, or another one is having 0, 1, like this. Every frequency is being coded. So the advantage that we get is that the noise that's get added in between during the transmission can be captured easily. Okay, so these are some of the advantages and disadvantages of the digital transmission.